What's up, guys? This is Kephas.
I've made a lot of World of Warcraft videos recently, and it's been a blast. I love talking about the game, sharing guides, showcasing cool add-ons, and offering my unique approach to playing the game. And if you've watched my videos, you've likely noticed that I don't play the game like most people. My UI looks different, I use a controller, and I rely on add-ons like GNOME Sequencer, not necessarily for efficiency, but for simplification. Honestly, the outpouring of support that I've gotten since making these videos is far beyond anything that I've ever experienced in my life, and because of that, I am very grateful. In fact, I have many people who are curious about how I play the game, which, by the way, if you're one of those people, always remember that it's in the description. There's a playlist there that can help you out. But I do occasionally get a comment or two from people who criticize how I play the game. And hey, that's fine. You know, people are allowed to think whatever they want. I'm not here to defend myself, but instead, I would like to talk about why I play the game the way I do. Well, the most obvious reason is the fact that I have a visual impairment. You know, I'm blind in one eye and I have 20/400 vision in the other, which means that I am ridiculously nearsighted. I have no peripheral vision and I have a hard time focusing, which means that it's hard for me to see small things, even on a screen. So this affects every aspect of my life, including how I play video games. You know, my UI is designed to be easier for me to navigate. And since there are aspects of it that I'll never really be able to see, I tend to prioritize creativity over efficiency. I use GNOME Sequencer because it's extremely difficult for me to track complex rotations, especially when I'm also trying to handle complex encounters. And I play with the controller because it's much more comfortable to navigate and I often lose track of the cursor. These choices aren't about playing optimally, they're about making the game fun and accessible for me. But beyond my vision, there's a much deeper reason for my approach to gaming. Many online games, including WoW, emphasize efficiency, min-maxing, and optimization. Players strive to be at their best constantly, memorizing rotations, studying boss fights, and using every possible tool to maximize performance. That's great for those who enjoy it, but it's not for me. I prefer to enjoy the moment, figure things out as I go, and play in a way that feels fun, organic, and frankly, not like a second job. This might sound dumb to some of you, but I used to avoid running group content because I worried that my impairment would hold me back. But I've overcome that fear, and in the War Within, I've actually ran more dungeons than I have probably since Wrath of the Lich King. But now I've run into another issue. To progress in the game, I'm expected to play in a very specific, community-approved way. To be viable, I need to follow metas, copy the best builds, memorize boss mechanics long before ever stepping into a dungeon, and execute everything flawlessly. For me, that's not really fun. If I have to play a game in a way that strips all enjoyment from it, then I'd rather not engage at that level. That's not to say that I refuse to try. If I'm in a group, I'll do my part, but I won't make myself miserable to meet an unnecessary standard of perfection. There was a time when I was a part of a raid team with a group of friends, and we did run a lot of dungeons together and obviously cleared raids. But we never played like that. We never let perfection get in the way of having fun, and despite that, we would improve, and we had no trouble clearing the raid and progressing. I guess I just never saw the point in squeezing out a little bit more DPS if doing so made the game less fun for me to play. And it doesn't really matter to me if the incentive for doing so is because the developers add punishing game mechanics or the player base has become more sweaty. If I'm not enjoying what I'm doing, then what I'm doing is pointless. And this philosophy for me extends beyond video games. I was practically raised by my grandparents, and so I spent a lot of time talking to older people. And if you do that and you pay attention, you can learn a lot about life. And I believe that I've learned probably the most important life lesson from this, because I've noticed a pattern, which is that happiness rarely comes from achieving goals alone. Some people accomplished everything they set out to do and still felt unfulfilled or empty, while others found joy despite falling short of their ambitions. Ultimately, the happiest people were usually the ones who enjoy the journey and not just the destination. And that's how I approach life, and it's also how I approach gaming. I don't play just to get the best gear or to be at the top of the DPS charts. I play because I enjoy the process, exploring, experimenting, and having a good time. That's what matters most to me, and if I can share that enjoyment with others, then all the better. Of course, there's always a balance, I used to coach a co-ed volleyball team, and you would always have those ultra competitive players who would suck the fun out of the game for everybody else involved, but then you'd have those others who didn't try at all because they were just there to have fun. They were equally at fault. And it's no different here. You have some players who demand perfect efficiency even in low-level dungeons, while others put in no effort and expect to be carried even in high mythics. I aim for the middle ground. I'll try, but I won't let the pressure to be perfect ruin my experience. I think this is a broader issue in gaming. Many online communities have become obsessed with optimization to the point that it drives away casual players. Even in single-player games, guides flood the internet long before people even have a chance to explore for themselves. Instead of immersing themselves in the experience, players rush through, trying to beat the game as efficiently as possible. But why rush it? Why not take your time and enjoy the ride? This reminds me of when Tears of the Kingdom first launched. My nephew and I both got the game and we started around the same time. He cleared the starting island in like an hour, but I spent around 3 to 4 hours clearing it. And he saw this as an opportunity to dunk on me because he cleared it much faster than I did. And so I asked him, how many Korok seeds did you get? Did you find the warm greaves? Do you even know what Zonite is? He missed so much stuff just trying to rush through the game and consume the content. And maybe he had fun. I don't know. It's not really for me to say, but I know for a fact that I had fun with that game. Not because I finished it quickly, but because I enjoyed every moment that I played it. I spent a lot of time in that game and savored it. And that's why it's one of my favorites. At the end of the day, that's all that really matters to me, is having a good time. I really don't care if I'm the best or worst WoW player. For some, the worst thing in the world is to suck at video games, but what matters to me is the experience, the connections, and the joy of playing. And that's exactly what I hope to share with every video that I make, no matter what game we're playing or how well or terribly I'm playing it. But I would love to hear your thoughts. How do you approach gaming? Are you there to sweat it out? Are you just enjoying the experience? Or are you somewhere in the middle? Most importantly, are you having a good time? Let me know in the comments. With all that being said, I'll see you guys on the next one.
Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, let me know by clicking that like button. And feel free to share it with your friends so they can enjoy it as well. And if you'd like to see more videos, you can subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon to be notified as soon as new videos are posted. You can also follow me on Facebook, and if you'd like, you can support my work on Patreon. Links to all that stuff can be found in the description below. This is Kephas. Until next time.